Hey guys, and welcome to the WWE podcast. Thanks for joining me. Today is St. Patrick's Day, Saturday, March 17th, 2018. And thank you for joining me. Those of you who are out today partying, drinking, be safe, take an Uber, take a Lyft. Just be safe and everybody have a great time. If you are partaking in those activities, being 33 years old, that is something that I don't really do much of anymore. I think that is gone by the wayside, and I miss it in some respects, but I also don't miss the hordes of money that I would spend and the countless hours of being hungover. So, but again, everybody, enjoy yourselves, have a good time. But this is about WWE. This is about wrestling. This is mainly about Wrestlemania. WrestleMania 34 is only, a few weeks away? 3 weeks away? Unbelievably 3 weeks away. And things are heating up in WWE. This is not my typical format. I am on the road, mobile right now. I'm picking up a new car after I got in an accident as an Uber driver. Yeah, it's a big mess. But things are getting back on track, but I am mobile today. I'm not in my typical, quote, studio. I guess that's what you call it. But I do want to give you my thoughts on some of the big ticket items happening in WWE. And I will start with John Cena versus The Undertaker. And I really, really want to hit on Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. And a little bit of AJ Styles and Shinsuke as well. So let's get going here. Undertaker and John Cena, while it's not official, I think we can all safely say collectively that this match is going to happen at WrestleMania 34. I see no other way around it. WWE is going to make this match happen. And what's interesting here is WWE going to position this as Undertaker's last match? I don't know if they would be, if they really squeezed all the juice out of the lemon that they could, if they tell you 3 weeks before WrestleMania that this is the Undertaker's last match. You would think WWE would give you a year to 6 month heads up. That one of the biggest legends of all time, if not the biggest legend of all time in professional wrestling, is hanging up his boots for good and for real. And you would think that they would do that. But if this is indeed Undertaker's last match, and maybe he's taking it year by year and doesn't want to put any pressure on himself to announce it to give himself such a long period of time of anticipation and build. And if it is, we all need to enjoy it. And what I mean by that is we all can I think, agree that The Undertaker's match quality has not exactly been what it once was several years ago, with even Triple H and Shawn Michaels as his opponents at WrestleMania 25, 26, 27, and 28, I believe, were all Triple H and Shawn Michaels had 2 matches each with him. And I believe that those were really his last years of competing at that level. Since then, I think it's just called Mother Nature. I mean, he's 50 some years old. He has put in more than his time. Yes, he wrestles once a year, but at the same time, he's 50 something years old, folks. And so I think we have to look at this match through the lens of nostalgia and through the lens of enjoyment and soaking up every moment that this legend is still in the ring, regardless of how much his performance or ability, I hate the word performance, that's such a corporate word, that his ability inside the ring has deteriorated over the years. I think, yes, that is obvious, of course, but I think that while some may say he has overstayed his welcome, I don't believe he's at the embarrassment level yet, and I really think everybody should really look at this as a history, and the fact that you may not ever get to see this again from the dead man, Mark Calloway. And so look at it through that lens, and I think everybody will enjoy it much more. I do not expect a 5-star classic. John Cena can still go. I still believe he is in his prime. It is a good style for The Undertaker. He's power for power. Undertaker's power for power. I really believe it actually will gel very well. But the one issue I have with this match is not the inside of the ring. It's not what happens inside the 20 by 20 squared circle. It is actually, to me, what happens outside of it with gimmicks. And there is talk of The Undertaker, since Kid Rock, embarrassingly, is being inducted into the Celebrity Wing Hall of Fame. I understand it's the Celebrity Wing, but it's Kid Rock. You can have Limp Bizkit, Huh? Are you going to have Limp Bizkit? Are you going to have Pitbull from last year inducted into the Hall of Fame? I mean, I just don't understand, but maybe WWE is thinking that Kid Rock can do a live performance of The Undertaker's American Badass theme from 2000 to 2002, I believe. 2003 is when he changed back to the Dead Man, and perform it live. I have mixed feelings about this. I'm leaning more towards please don't do it. I know people think that that's a nice way to send him off, but think about this. The Undertaker did not become successful with that gimmick, that part of his personality, that version of The Undertaker. Yes, it wasn't in my estimation, it really wasn't a bad version of The Undertaker. It was different. Yes, that version of The Undertaker allows him to be able to speak more freely and be more of himself than The Undertaker, which is a slow, methodical kind of promo pace that is, I don't want to say limited in lines, but limited in the scope that he has to focus on being that dead man, where Mark Calloway, I believe the person, is more towards the American Badass character. I understand all of that. But that's where, to me, the positives end. Vince McMahon himself would like to forget, I think, the American Badass ever existed. And I don't believe that if this is indeed The Undertaker's final match, that he should go out as the American Badass character. That's not what made him famous. That is not what put him on the map. That is not what you think of when you think of The Undertaker. You think of the Dead Man, the gong tolling, the druids, the fire, the special effects, the choke slams and the tombstones and the black coat. And yes, he wore the black coat as the American Badass. I understand that's the link between his old gimmick and the new that he had at the time. But this, to me, is not the way the Undertaker should go out, if this is indeed his final match. And again, I don't know. I'm tired of predicting it. Everybody's been predicting him retiring for the last 10 years. But I that's my 2 cents. As far as the match goes, as I said, I don't expect a 5-star classic. I expect John Cena to really carry the load here, as he should. He's the more able-bodied individual inside the ring, and he has 15-plus years of experience in the WWE. So I really believe that this match is going to be slow-paced, methodical, and ultimately, I really don't even know who the winner is going to be. I don't have predictions yet, but those are my thoughts on that. Let's move on to AJ and Shinsuke, and I will end with my Reigns and Lesnar thoughts. So Shinsuke and AJ. Now, there has been talk of who should go on last, because to me, there is one main event at WrestleMania. One. You can bill it if you're in the WWE management position. You want to tell the other superstars that there is more than one main event. You're one of the main events. Well, no, there's one main event. That main event goes on last. You can try to bill it and sell it to the talent as you will, but the fans know the match that goes on last is the main event. There's no such thing as a double main event. The main event is what goes on last. So, with that being said, there's been talk of Charlotte and Asuka going on last. And this is the time with the women's movement, and WWE is a very progressive company. We're no longer wrestling, we're entertainment. We're the soft charity giving women's movement. Everybody is happy-go-lucky. Look at all the charitable work and diverse causes that we are contributing to, and we are recognizing African American Black History Month. We are recognizing Hispanic. I mean, honestly, it turns my stomach. It makes me want to throw up. I don't care if anybody gets offended by that. It's not about me being racist. It's about the WWE and what, to me, WWE should be. Yeah, I know that's coming from one lonely fan out of thousands or millions across the world and the globe. So that is just, those are my thoughts. It makes me sick, and I don't have a problem with the causes. What I have a problem with, as I'm looking at a Powerhouse Gym shirt, that's why I almost said Powerhouse. What I have a problem with is WWE putting that ahead of the product, putting that ahead of what they are at their core, and they are wrestling. So with all that nonsense out of the way, what I'm trying to say is that with the main event of WrestleMania, I don't think it's time for Charlotte and Asuka to main event. To me, it'd feel forced. If they do that, it's been great progress in the women's division. There has been great progress in the women's division over the last number of years. no doubt. But to me, if that goes on last, number one, you are telling the audience that the women's movement, or whatever statement they are trying to make about women and moving and progression and forward thinking and sensitivity, that everybody's freaking sensitive nowadays, making sure that everybody gets a voice and everybody's equally treated, all that crap. And I'm sorry, it's crap. Yes, I believe in people being treated equal. Maybe we should do a spinoff. This stuff really fires me up. But anyway, you guys are probably thinking I'm a racist asshole at this point. I am not at all. I'm not sexist. What I hate is WWE putting themselves in a position that they are running from their own identity of being a wrestling company. That's what I really hate, by putting these labels and this makeup and this cover up of all this sappy crap and charities over themselves to make their sponsors happy. Okay, but the main event of WrestleMania, I promise I'm getting there, should be a title match, because you want these individuals in the WWE competing for a championship, Vince, that means something, that they are fighting for. If you have the women's match on last, I think that, number one, you won't get the crowd reaction you would want, because by that time the audience will be exhausted from a 7-hour event. And number two, putting that ahead of the championship, the top championship with a massive amount of lineage, with the WWE championship, not the Universal, would, I think, do disservice to that championship. I believe it would. So AJ and Shinsuke, I know everybody's expecting their 5-star classic as good. All right, guys. My apologies if you heard that phone call. I'm not sure, because I'm doing a recording app on my phone, and I had a call with my dealership. Anyway, so I apologize if you heard it. If you didn't, if there's a pause. Anyway, let's move on to WrestleMania. Everybody's expecting a 5-star classic with AJ and Shinsuke. I expect a 4-star match. I think 5 stars, even as good as these two are, isn't it automatic? As great as they are, the skill sets that they have, 5-star matches don't just happen because you want them to happen. Sometimes they happen out of circumstance, a little bit of luck, and just coincidence. Or I shouldn't say coincidence. I should say that all the stars align perfectly. And there is a lot of skill between the two of them, no doubt. But to have a 5-star, don't know. I expect a very good match. WWE needs to provide them with 20-plus minutes to allow them that time to tell that story. And so those are my 2 cents on that. Let's just wrap it up with the Undertaker, or Lesnar versus Reigns. And then I have to get myself going to the dealership to get my car. And I'll just make this short and sweet. I am concerned that WWE has a Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 20 situation on their hands. The fans feel that Brock doesn't care at all to be there. I don't think he does. He's never there. WWE made a great case to the fans to really try to turn those who are booing him into cheering Roman Reigns, that Lesnar's not there and he never shows up and he collects a big payday. Well, if anybody uses their brain, how about this? Brock Lesnar doesn't need to. Brock Lesnar's been there, done that. It's like when John Cena called The Rock out for never being there. You know why? Because The Rock already did it. He's at the level where he doesn't have to do it anymore. So that's arguments right out the freaking window. Number two, with Brock and Reigns, and Brock really not wanting to be there and the fans knowing it, and Brock has not re-upped with WWE, and him kind of tiptoeing in WWE and UFC, and his heart's not fully with WWE, the fans could turn on Brock very quickly. And the promo this past week with Roman Reigns, as good as in the progress they made last week, all of it was gone and then some this week. And you know where it ended? Where Roman Reigns said that Brock is Vince's boy. You have got to be kidding me, whoever came up with that line, that they are trying to get inside WWE. And now they're trying to produce a worked, shoot-looking promo too much now. With Vince being backstage, you really think Roman Reigns is going to go back there knowing his job is on the line if it's a true shoot promo with Vince sitting there? Yes, they made it nice and staged with Shane there and Vince there sitting there watching the show with a headset on. Very, yeah. But I see through it now. And what killed everything in its tracks and stopped everything instantly was Roman Reigns saying that Brock Lesnar is Vince's boy. when we all know damn well that for the last 3 to 4 years, Roman Reigns has been exactly that. It's just, it's the pot calling the kettle black, except we know the pot is the one who's really the one that's black. And what I mean by that is Roman Reigns has truly been Vince's boy behind the scenes. So with WWE trying to spin it that Brock is actually Vince's boy, doesn't work, as Stone Cold would say. By the way, happy belated 316 day. So those are my thoughts. I really believe that the crowd could destroy these two, both of them, not just Roman Reigns, but this could turn into the fans revolting very, very heavily. So let me know your thoughts. Follow me on Twitter at the WWE Podcast. That's at the WWE Podcast. Again, everybody have a great day. I'll talk to you next time.